welcome back to the channel, you guys. Man, I'm so excited to spend some time with you today. It is, of course, a Friday, which I wanted to post a video earlier in the week, but man, so much has gone on this week, from dental appointments to me being under the weather to basketball tournament stuff. I mean, it's just been hectic. So I wanted to get in here with you guys today and really show you kind of a warm-up process that I have for me starting a new project. So the new project is going to be a Christmas-themed illustration for a client, and I've already sat down this morning and done a couple fleshing out of the creatures that I'm going to be doing. So the creature focus is going to be a Yeti, and he's doing different Christmas things, thoughts, processes, and actions for the Christmas season. It's going to be cute. So you see I've already started one here, kind of, you know, a Yeti laughing, and I've already started kind of fleshing out what he looks like. You know, he's got his little tooth right here, not really sinister. I'm not doing any sinister illustrations, no Krampus or anything like that. There's enough guys and gals on the internet doing scary stuff that I think you can go and visit them if you want to get your scare on for Christmas. But me, I'm going to stick to being, you know, doing cute stuff and fun stuff. So that being said, I've already fleshed out a few different ideas here for my Yeti illustration. It's going to be really simple, sort of like a spot illustration, just a simple read, something fun that I think really exemplifies that holiday spirit. Yeah, so in this particular illustration, as you see, I've got this particular Yeti. He's just got a Christmas tree, and he's so excited he's going to go home and decorate it. I really like this one. This is probably the one that I'm going to end up using, but that being said, going through the process of elimination, you know, putting your thoughts down on paper is really, I think, quote-unquote, a requirement. You know, you don't want to go too far and do things that don't really make sense, but also, on the other hand, if you have different ideas, sometimes one of the ones at the very end of your whole creative process might be the one that you use. Here's one of the first ones that I did that shows him, you know, he's got a candy cane, and he's so excited. He's got this candy cane, and what I liked about this piece is the fact that he's got a Christmas sweater on. It's a Christmas sweater. It's cute. He's got little balls on here. His Christmas sweater. It's just so nice. And this might be actually might be the start of a seasonal idea. You know, a lot of times the bigger ideas come out from the sketchbook. The sketchbook is so important. I remember when I was teaching at college, and I required the students to have a sketchbook, and a lot of them fought me on it. A lot of them were just like, man, the sketchbook is another requirement in my life while I sit on my cell phone for 7 hours a day. Sketchbook is a journal. It's a visual journal of your ideas, and you know, I highly recommend you getting a sketchbook, whether it's traditional or digital, whatever you prefer, to really sit down and flesh your ideas and have things in one place. Also, having a sketchbook will really help inspire you as you progress through your career, as you progress through your journey as an artist, an illustrator, or a visual person, that you can look back and see the evolution of your ideas. And sometimes when you go back, you see things that didn't make sense at the time why you put them down, but now that you've got a little bit more understanding of how the world works, you look at that piece of artwork and it spurs a new idea. And you know, that new idea might be something that can be revolutionary in your career, and you suddenly realize, wow, I didn't know that I had that in me back then. What was I thinking? So I even sometimes take little notes, and I'll put them next to it, the time of day it was, what I was thinking, you know, who I saw, what I was experiencing, what movie that I watched, and all those things definitely help as we go through this journey of visual arts. So starting out, you can even see some of the construction lines in here that I started out doing a simple bean shape, and I'll go ahead and put him on a little bit of a layer transparency, and I'll show you where I started. A lot of times, you know, you'll see different artists start out with this bean shape, and you know, in animation, it's kind of that basis, not only for Mickey Mouse, but for Donald Duck, for Minnie Mouse, that bean shape. And then from there, you're able to squash and stretch things to help tell that story, that visual gesture that gets across, you know, that mood, that character. And then, of course, going in and understanding where, you know, the shoulders are. And you see, again, I'm using some of these very simplified forms to really flesh out some of these ideas in visual format. And I'm not getting mired down in the details at all. And that's important that you always remember that. Whenever you're in the sketch process, you're in the mistake process, right? You're kind of whittling down. It's like you get a piece of wood and you're sitting there, you're carving it, and you're whittling down and you're revealing that image. And that's what this is. Maybe you'll cut a little bit too deep and you say, oh, that's just a mistake. You know, now I need to come back to left of center and I need to redo things. No, it's a process, right? So now that I've gotten kind of that generalized shape, I started putting in some of the features, and based upon the other ones that I've done, I've got kind of an idea of how I'm going to create this particular character in the context of the Christmas illustration. So, gesture. Some of you guys don't know what that word is. Gesture. You know, we have that gesture of giving. It is a gesture, or a physical gesture, which is maybe a pose. And that is something that I think is really something that we need to focus on right now. Gesture. How he's standing, how he's positioned. What is that position that he has? How is it telling the story of what he's going to be doing? And how can I simplify that silhouette, you know, to really tell that story of what I'm trying to get across? I know that's a lot of words, but the reality is you know, illustration and drawing can be a challenge if you allow it to overtake you. But if you keep these methodologies inside of you and you start out with simple shapes and you get that generalized gesture, that easy read across, and I'm not saying, guys, I'm not saying anything new. This is all something that has, you know, been established not only in the animation field but also in the illustration field. You don't want to overcomplicate things. So as you see, I'm keeping things really simple. The Yeti. Who is he? What is he? He's a creature that, you know, is rather large in stature and frankly in lore is kind of scary. So whenever I'm doing stuff like this, I like to keep things fun. I like to keep things, you know, especially since I'm doing a Christmas illustration, friendly, you know, and that's why if you look at him, he doesn't really have any hard shapes. You know, you do have these, but they're not really hard. They're not, you know, fangs. They're not like this, and he's not like, you know, evil or anything like that. Do I have the ability to do that? Yes. But this illustration isn't going to be that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be festive. And now what I'm doing is, again, that visual cue that we all are used to, that open little area that shows, you know, maybe a little bit of skin in him. And you got that, you know, he's covered in fur. And if you noticed, I drew this line right here. What I'm going to do now is what I want to do is I want to create a sweater. Similar to what I did right here. He's got a little Christmas sweater on. Alright. So now he's going to have a Christmas sweater. He's got his cuff right here. And what I'll do is I'll just come back and it'll be a fluffy Christmas sweater. So here. Fold. Okay, let's go ahead and stick a big Christmas ball. Let's get a Christmas ball. Or no, let's not do Christmas ball. Let's do... let's see if I can do this right without messing it up. Yeah, kind of like a reindeer. Simplified silhouette. What is a silhouette? A silhouette is a shape of an object whenever you have basically had it completely dark. So if I were to go ahead and look at his silhouette, you know, he would be just a really big ball, right? Something friendly, not too foreboding. So we're looking at this and we're looking at that in terms of how it reads from a distance. You know, it's a big hulking creature, but it's not, you know, sharp edges and unfriendly. So that's what we're getting at. We want it to be friendly, but also recognizable. So you see that it's a type of monster. So let's go ahead and do this. I'll have this come around here. He's got a sweater. It's just so nice. He's got little fringe like this. He's got his toes. His fur comes out like this. It's just so nice. He's just having a lot of fun. And again, these are sketches. These aren't finals. This is just me having fun. This is me, you know, making mistakes. Okay. So let's go ahead, turn off the taper off the brush, make sure that everything looks good. Give him a little bit of shadowing and shading to push that form a little bit better, to help read a little bit better. So a little shadowing under his arms, here and there. And then, of course, have some of that. And I gave him one fang, one tooth, because again, having two teeth shown a lot of times, whenever you see a dog or you see a creature showing two fangs, that means they're serious. Now, even though he is a Yeti and there is a fierceness to him, that dichotomy of thought, that dual characterization of how you view, you know, how I view characters, especially characters like this that are inherently quote unquote evil. But whenever you throw that friendly side in, then you suddenly have a relationship with him, right? He's friendly. You know, he loves getting Christmas trees. He loves candy. We all love candy. And of course, whenever you get a candy cane and he's got a new pair of glasses and he's looking down at the candy cane going, is this all I got for Christmas? Is this all I got? You know? It is definitely... you know, this whole process, this sketch process, gives me an opportunity to really learn who the character is, and learn who the character, more importantly, learn who the character is not. You know, a lot of times we'll try things and it just doesn't work out, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it not working out. So now what I'm doing is I'm starting out with that huge bean shape. All right, he's got a lot of weight. Got a lot of weight on this foot right here. So let's go ahead and have this foot right here. And this one is kind of balancing, you know, like this. And then I've got his arm coming down and he's holding something. So I've got to think, okay, so there's a lot of weight coming down on this foot. So let's go ahead and give it a little bit more of a stabilization because I don't want to look like he's falling down too much. Go ahead and give a little bit of a ground plane. So I've already established certain things about him. Let's go ahead and have that horn. All right, his face, I'm going to determine where his eyes are. I really want that. Okay, so here, got that big pack. He's got a big box. It's a present. So he's got a present. Got his hand that's come around here. Hand is fully stretched. You can't see it, but again, knowing where it is important whenever you start adjusting things in the context of weight and gesture, that initial read, feeling that weight, feeling, you know, all that pressure right here. And he's got that belly. He's got his belly that he's also carrying around. So he's got, you know, got his feet. The Yeti, also known as the, you know, the Bigfoot of the snow. So he is big, he is hulking. So let's go ahead and do this. Get his eyes. So let's go here. Okay. So it helps a lot of times if you do a lot of drawing and you're constantly looking at yourself. You know, you look at yourself, you look at your face for visual reference. And a lot of times that does work for you, but you need to always remember that initial, you know, reference, you know, smile, friendly, frown, unhappy, gritted teeth, you know, that's unhappy, unfriendly. So he's struggling. Got to have that other hand come around here. He's struggling with it. So now I start putting in some of these, oh, you know, he's like, oh. And every single time I look at him, I try to reaffirm and reconfirm what is the position, what is he trying to get across, what am I trying to say with this drawing, It's literally every time I look at it, I zoom out. I had somebody say about one of my videos, you know what I learned? He zooms in and out and he goes all over the place. Yeah, because the brain is working so much and analyzing and reanalyzing things. And, you know, that is part of the creative process. Let's go ahead and have his hair come up. I still haven't fleshed out his eyes yet. So let's go ahead and see, I'm trying to get that face. I've got a mirror right here. See, I'm trying to see, pull it up. So a lot of times we'll lift something up and we'll have our bottom lip push up. So we're gonna have his bottom lip come up, right? Ugh. But he's still, well, it's got to be down. Let's have his eyes a little bit, kind of like this. Ugh. Oh, that's a big one. Maybe his chin like that. Again, that simple read, I'm trying to get it across that it's heavy. You know, I'm trying to get across that package is not light. And he's having a little bit of a struggle with it. Ugh. Let's have that pinky come out. I got this. Here's that finger, that finger, that finger. Comes around. That's kind of what he's doing. Let's have that right here. Maybe it's a little bit too big. A little bit too big. Ugh. Trial and error. Ugh. Ugh. And literally, you can see the tension in my face. I'm trying to get that feeling across. You know, that angst, that weight. You know? Ugh. So he's got that. And that big hand comes around here. Here we go. So that's where that comes from. All that, you can see sometimes, I remember I would go to MGM Studios before it became Hollywood Studios, and I would watch the animators. And of course I was really into the how-to, you know, how to draw, how to do this. And you'd always have that mirror that the animators would use to really help them get that easy read, because that's what you want. So let's go ahead, we're going to have that bow come here. And even this hand right here is a little bit too humanistic. You know, I don't want it to be too humanistic. So we need to watch the bow here. So let's... Good. Now I need to watch because, again, I don't want this to come up and cover too much of him. So we'll have that come around. Good. You can definitely see that tension, all that weight being put. Oh. And this, again, is getting to understand that proportion of who he is, a character design of who he is. You know, his hand's going to have to be a lot bigger, a lot friendlier. See? And that's just, again, see, even that little change right there needs to be a little bit bigger here. Okay. And basically what I'm doing is learning the character. You know, you learn the character, you draw the character over and over again. You learn who he is, you learn what his subtleties are. You know, you learn what he is, what he isn't, and all those weight proportions. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Give a little bit of form here, a little bit of shadowing and shading. You know, shade these in a little bit. He's got his little pudding face, little pooch coming out. That helps again. You know, he's whatever package he's got, it's heavy and he's carrying it. Okay, so let's go ahead and put him with his friends. Yeah, so he's friendly. Oh, see, even that, see, you know, again, that first pass is something that is an establishment. And from there, you can build on the illustration, build on the piece itself as you continue forward. And all of these will end up culminating in a final piece. And that final piece might go through multiple generations and iterations of composition. And, you know, that's ultimately what I'm after, is that whole generation, that whole moving through that adventure, through the illustration, through the spot. And again, having fun and getting to know this creature, you know, what his name is, where he came from, where does he live? Does he live in a cave? What is his backstory? Not getting too involved because, you know, I don't want to spend too much time, again, because time is what? Time is, you know, sacrifice, time is money, away from all the people that I love. And you know, even though I want to invest in this illustration, I have to balance, you know, balance that whole act. So I'll probably do one, maybe two more little spots of him doing something fun. You know, maybe he's opening a present, maybe he's looking at a tree, maybe he's, you know, a bowl of eggnog, maybe he's drinking a whole bowl of eggnog and, you know, just having fun. So I just wanted to show you guys kind of the whole process, kind of, it's not the whole process, but kind of a window into, you know, what I do as an illustrator and artist to really move through the illustration and have fun utilizing this whole sketch process and warming up and you know, working in my sketchbook or working in my digital sketchbook and literally this is part of the fun of being being a visual artist, is exploring, finding out what works, and at the end of the day, you know, revealing something about yourself, because you put something personal into every single piece of artwork that you do. And that's why a lot of times people, especially students, you know, getting out into the biz early on, can't handle it because they take it so personally. And you're saying, well, you get jaded whenever you get older? No, but I understand there's a balance. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, that balance can work for you and work against you. But I always go back to this notion that, you know, I'm having fun. And that's what you need to do. So thank you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. It's important too to hit that subscribe, because if you don't, or you don't make a comment, what happens is it kind of gets, you know, the algorithm doesn't recognize that it's a popular video or it's a video that people like, and then suddenly it'll never get played, and the people in the subscription, if you subscribe to the channel, they'll never see it. So hit that, help me out if you can, and you know, we'll definitely move on to the next level of this illustration, which is doing the final line work, moving into color, and just really having fun with it. So thank you guys, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.